I know we received this report. Did you speak? You spoke with Anderson.
I spoke to her for the first time on Friday. I called her, and her name was given to me by the Waterbury DCF office, saying that she was the assigned worker, and then she told me that she was only assigned for the court thing, and that you were the one who was handling the investigation.
Yeah, so I'm going to handle the investigation. She will do the probate matter. I did want to ask you if it was possible that we could come out and meet you.
Well, yeah, like I was saying to her, I wanted to see if we could arrange for my daughter to actually be here as well when you come, because she's been completely isolated from me. Her father's not letting me see her or speak to her at all. In the last 7 months, he only let me spend less than 2 days with her. No one seems to think that that's abusive or isolation or anything like that. And it's really highly concerning because you guys have never seen her in my house, in my environment. He's saying he doesn't even want her to come here, which is a huge red flag. So I was asking her if it would be possible for us to arrange so that you could do a visit in my home with my 9-year-old, who I have sole custody of, and my daughter Angelina, if she could be able to be here as well, so that you could see how she acts when she doesn't have her father breathing down her neck, threatening her.
So the only thing with that is Dad has full custody, correct?
At the moment he does, based on him paying people off, and the fact that his son is sexually abusing my daughter, and that he made sure to keep her away from me as much as he could to try to brainwash my child, which he's brainwashed her now severely. And I record every conversation between her and I, including the one, I don't know if he told you his nonsense BS story regarding October 8th. I don't know if you saw the actual video or not, but I have the entire 29-minute FaceTime conversation fully recorded with audio and video, where you can see my daughter screaming in pain while he's drunk and passed out. He does a lot of drugs. He drinks heavily. And while he's passed out drunk on the bed, my daughter's screaming in pain, saying her butt hurts, grabbing her vagina. And he's telling her, oh, you're fine, you just didn't wipe. Did you see that video? Or no?
I think that it went to the Caroline.
So did you, as the investigator, see it?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay, so that's highly concerning that, like, you haven't even seen it. And so, like, to me, that says that the only thing that you've done is, like, taken Matt's word for everything. You haven't bothered to call me once. When he was incarcerated, he's going to court right now, today, for risk of injury to a minor, felony risk of injury. When he was arrested, DCF did not call me at all. The police... No. Listen, that day on October 8th, he was taken into custody by the police. He was arrested and charged with multiple charges. My daughter was then supposedly taken to St. Mary's Hospital. I don't know who took her there. I don't know who signed papers saying that she was their legal guardian, but I'm going to make something very clear to you. I have never, ever had my parental rights terminated at all. My parental rights are intact. I am her legal guardian and biological mother. So if the father gets arrested and taken into custody like he did on October 8th, that means that the only legal guardian that's not in prison that she would have had on that day was me. So I want to know who took her to the hospital, what was consented to and not consented to at the hospital, because I know that they're not going to do anything unless you consent to it. Who told St. Mary's Hospital that I have no legal rights and that I'm not her guardian? And who took her to St. Mary's that night? And why didn't DCF contact me immediately when the father was put in prison? Why wasn't I immediately contacted? Karen Bowers and Roy Bowers, her alcoholic husband, have no rights to my child. They don't have custody. They don't have visitation. They have zero rights whatsoever. So if Matt was in prison, if Matt was in Waterbury Police Department jail on October 8th like he was, who took my daughter? Who took her to the hospital? Why wasn't I contacted? Why are you guys concealing the records now? And why does it seem like no one knows what the hell's going on? And you're like, well, I didn't see the video. You didn't see the video. Then what exactly are you investigating then?
So Okay, so Caroline did see the video.
No, I'm not talking about the care line. I'm talking about you. You are assigned. You're the one getting paid a salary. No. You're the one getting paid to investigate this, not the care line, not the useless care line. So if you didn't even see the video and you're going there, what the hell are you investigating then?
So we are a team, and they did see the video and didn't see anything in the video that...
They didn't see anything in the video that what? They didn't see... Wait, hold on. They didn't see anything in the video that what?
That would indicate that she was being sexually abused.
Are you kidding me? So I'm going to send you this video right now. If you're going to tell me that you don't see anything in this video that would say that she's being abused, then you deserve to be fired from your position immediately. I'm sending you the video now. I would like you to look at this video and take the time to watch the full 30-minute video that has audio, and it also has FaceTime where my daughter screams in pain. You could see the father completely drunk and belligerent, and the fact that my daughter's screaming, saying that her vagina and butt hurts during the call, and the father sitting there doing nothing. You don't think that's concerning? Of course you don't, because you didn't even bother to look at the video. You're saying the Caroline didn't see anything concerning. If the Caroline looks at this video and doesn't think it's concerning, this is a huge problem. What's your email so I could send this to you? Because I'm really disgusted with your way you're handling this, and I'm really upset with the fact that you're going to say, oh, he has custody, so that means that you guys can just take my kid when he's in jail and no one notifies me?
No, that's not what I said. What I said was that he has full custody, so I cannot bring your daughter to your house.
Were you there on October 8th when he was in prison?
What I'm saying is I can't bring her to your house.
Were you there on October 8th when he was incarcerated? Excuse me?
I was not.
Okay, so what happened that night then? Did DCF take custody of my child and take her to the hospital?
They did not.
Who took my daughter to the hospital then?
I believe they went with the police.
So my 4-year-old daughter went alone with the police to the hospital.
She went with her grandmother.
She went with a grandmother and the police to the hospital. Why was I not contacted? The grandmother has no rights, custody, visitation, or anything to the child. Why was I, her legal guardian and biological mother, not immediately contacted when Officer Seeger said he would call me back before they kicked the door down? Why wasn't I contacted? The grandmother said she was the legal guardian and signed paperwork at St. Mary's Hospital as the legal guardian. She's not the legal guardian. You don't just say I'm a legal guardian and the mother doesn't exist, and that's not how things work, okay? So this is negligence. You guys have dropped the ball big time here. Who took her to the hospital from DCF? Who was with my child in DCF besides Karen Bowers and the police? I want answers.
I don't think that DCF was at the St. Mary's.
You don't think, or you know, are you sure, or are you not sure? Because okay, because according to what you're telling me, she went to the hospital on 10/8/23 with Karen Bowers, a woman with no legal rights or custody or visitation, and who else? The police and not DCF.
Report filed by the police. Yep, the police. You're with the police. Your mother. Custody.
Hello?
Did you mean to hang up on me? Or...
No, I don't know what happened, dude.
Okay. So she was seen at St. Mary's Hospital on 10/8. She went with the police.
She went with the who? The Officer Seeger?
Waterbury Police. I don't know.
So she went with Waterbury Police, and who else?
And she was with her grandmother.
And who consented and did not consent to whatever was or was not consented to at the hospital? Who signed paperwork? Who fraudulently signed paperwork at St. Mary's claiming to be her legal guardian? She has two legal guardians, me and Matthew. If it was... No. Who's in the report that took her to the hospital to consent to the stuff? When you go for a sexual assault, they ask you to consent. You could consent to blood work. You could consent to urines. You could consent to a rape kit. Who consented and did not consent, and what was consented to and what wasn't, and who fraudulently stated that they were my child's legal guardian and gave a note to St. Mary's not to give me any information and saying that I have no rights to her? Who did that? Was that Karen Bowers?
I don't know who did that. All I have is the medical examination.
What did medical examination? I want copies of all of these records immediately. I want copies of all of the information and records. I have the legal right to have all these. Karen Bowers has no rights to my child at all. She doesn't have rights. I never lost my parental rights. Do you see that? Or do you have a note that I have no parental rights? Because you guys have no idea what you're even doing in this office. Like, it's really concerning. This is why kids are getting killed right and left. But you guys don't care because you could go adopt 500 kids last week. That's great, right? You guys have no problem getting your federal funding incentives to basically traffic children. But when real kids like Angelina are getting abused and real good mothers like myself gets silenced because of this grandmother who wants to say that she has rights and I don't, show me where Karen Bowers has any rights legally to this kid. She doesn't.
Grandma said that or not.
No. The Waterbury Police Department and St. Mary's Hospital told me that. So what was and wasn't consented to in the hospital? Because Matthew's going around telling people, including the media, that my daughter was taken to the hospital and that it was found that there's no sexual abuse. So what, did they do a rape kit? What did they do at the hospital?
It does say that they didn't find any trauma.
They didn't find trauma. What was and wasn't done? And how do I get copies of all this?
It says it's exactly what. She was questioned. The hospital. And this time, and it did not. She had a physical exam, did not reveal any acute evidence of injury. That's what.
That honestly, that's a complete joke. Those physical exams are looking for rips, tears. Unless you're getting brutally raped by somebody who's penetrating you brutally, you're not going to show any signs of that. If somebody's getting molested by their 17-year-old brother, Dominic Lodis, then guess what? You're not going to show severe rips and tears like what those assaults look for. So for you guys to use terms like that is absolutely disgusting. What about the rape kit? Was a rape kit done, or did Karen decline to consent to that? She has no legal right to consent to any of these things. Show me where this woman, Karen Bowers, has the legal right to consent to those when Angelina's mother, me, was not aware. I'm her legal guardian, not Karen. Karen has no rights. She doesn't even have visitation or custody or anything. So if she took her to the hospital without my knowledge and consent, if she consented and did not consent to various things, which, look, when we went to Hartford Children's Hospital in May, they told me, you got to sign paperwork and consent to a rape kit, to blood work, to urines, to this, to that. What was and was not consented to on October 8th by Karen, the woman who has no legal rights to my kid? Because
I don't signed off on this. I don't have.
You have a report you're reading. Is it possible for me to get a copy of that report since the hospital is refusing to provide me it? Since Karen Bowers told them that I have no legal rights, which is completely false. You guys should know. Let me ask you something. Do you have something in your records that's saying that I have no legal rights to my daughter? That I've lost my parental rights are terminated? Is there something there that says that? And
no.
Okay, so you guys are aware of the fact that my rights were never terminated then, correct?
Right.
Okay, so then why was I not contacted on October 8th when the father was taken into jail and put in prison? Why was I not immediately contacted before allowing the child to go with somebody who has no legal rights to her?
So I don't have the answers to that. That would be a question for the police department.
Well, the police department said that DCF was there. So which DCF people were there that night?
So I wouldn't know. I didn't get this case till October 10th.
Okay, but so when you got the case, what did it say? Who was there? They said DCF and the police were there that night.
No, DCF. I don't see DCF in the documentation.
So the Waterbury police never contacted DCF, even though they made
contacted
that night.
I don't see that DCF was at the hospital.
No, you're saying they did contact DCF that day?
DCF was contacted, but it doesn't say that DCF was at the hospital
or at the house.
No, not at the house.
Okay, so usually in a situation when DCF's contacted and there's two parents and one goes in jail and then the child only has one legal guardian who's not in prison, wouldn't the second parent immediately need to be contacted so that the child doesn't have no legal guardian at that point? Because otherwise she would have went in DCF custody.
We did not get a report from let me see. Let me just check. Okay. Can you give me a second? I don't think that we received. Okay, so we didn't receive. We received your report on 10/9.
My report that I made to the care line?
Yeah, we received your report.
Was there any report made by the police on the 8th?
There was a police report that was sent to us by the Waterbury Police Department.
So why did Waterbury tell me that DCF was at the scene that night then?
No, we weren't at the scene. We were maybe by phone, but we didn't have to respond.
You didn't have to respond, even though somebody's sole custodial parent was taken into custody by the police. DCF said it was fine. They don't have to respond. Risk of injury to a minor felony case. No DCF needed. Seems a little strange to me.
No. DCF was called,
but they never came to the scene, even though the dad was locked up and taken to jail. DCF didn't think that was necessary to then come when the child had no legal guardian there.
She was with her grandmother.
The grandmother is not her legal guardian.
Right, but she can be watched by a grandmother.
She can be watched by the grandmother? What do you mean? Wait. Show me where you're getting your information from that says she can be watched by the grandmother.
If dad agrees for her.
If dad agrees for her, dad was in jail. Dad's in jail. She has two legal guardians, myself and the dad. If dad's in jail, I should have immediately gotten temporary custody at that point. Not grandma. Not grandma and her alcoholic husband, Roy.
Grandma didn't have custody of her. She was
so, okay. The word custody means that they physically have the child. And if you got an order of temporary custody, that's who physically has the child. So when dad is locked up in jail for a felony, who had physical custody of my kid? The grandma? How did she get that if I was sitting there waiting to find out what's going on, waiting to accompany my child to the hospital, waiting for a call back from the police, and no one called me back? And then grandma says, oh, well, dad says it's okay for me to watch her, so that means that she's her legal guardian? It doesn't work like that.
If dad consented to grandma staying with her, like, we were not.
If dad says grandma can stay with her, that does not make grandma the legal guardian.
So I don't know what happened that day, honestly.
Okay, wait. Do you understand? Are we in agreement that if dad says somebody who has no rights to my kid can watch them, that does not make that person the legal guardian? Are we at least on the same page with that?
She's not the legal guardian.
Okay, so if she signed paperwork at the hospital as the legal guardian, that was fraud. And so whatever happened that night at the hospital is fraud. Whatever was told to the police and DCF and everything from then to now is fraud. The fact that you guys have never once called me at all, why'd you wait 6 weeks to get back to me? If I didn't call you, would you have even called me at all, or would you have just closed this investigation that you didn't even bother to look at the video?
Tracy and I were actually talking about contacting you so we can go see you.
Why'd you wait 6 weeks to have that conversation?
together.
Why'd you wait 6 weeks to discuss seeing me? Usually they're supposed to meet with the parents immediately. Usually they're supposed to meet with both parents. Why wasn't I even called until I had to call you guys?
No, we do meet with the parents. I have to meet with you throughout my investigation. The child doesn't reside with you, so I do have to meet with you at some point in my investigation, yes.
You have to meet with me at some point in the investigation because she doesn't reside with me. But when she was residing with me before, you guys immediately contacted Matthew, had multiple home visits with him with the child there. When she was with me, primary residency, you guys did that. But when it's this way, when he has primary residency now, all of a sudden you don't have to inform me at all. You don't have to contact me at all. You're going to say that you're going to tell me that you have documentation showing that this lady, Karen Bowers, who has no rights to my kid, signed as her legal guardian in a sexual abuse investigation. Did my daughter get taken to scan on October? Did she go to her appointment and scan, or did they refuse to bring her to that too?
There was no appointment for scan.
There was no appointment for scan. Wow, you guys really need to do your job better. She did have an appointment for scan. How are you not aware of that? How are you not aware of that? Her appointment was scheduled for Tuesday, October 24th at 1:00 p.m.
Okay, so in my report it says that no further work. Yeah.
This is a complete joke. You're saying that it's saying no further work. Scan contacted me on October 18th. They stated that they want to see Angelina in scan to be evaluated. I scheduled the appointment for the 24th at 1 p.m. But you're telling me that you have no knowledge of this at all.
According to the hospital, CCMC was contacted
by who?
By the hospital. We discussed this with CCMC, and if the family decides that they would like further evaluation, then a scan can be. If the family wishes, a referral to scan can be made.
Well, Scan contacted me stating that they needed to see her and that they would like to have a follow-up with her. That was scheduled for October 24th. The father refused to bring her to it.
I can scan.
Okay, and also the fact that she was in therapy. He pulled her out of therapy. She hasn't been able to go to her therapist since May. She was actually making progress with that. She has a diagnosis of adjustment disorder. He has since refused to allow her to go to therapy. He has since refused to allow her to have any contact with me or her sister. I thought that DCF is supposed to prioritize siblings being together. Aren't you mandated under federal laws that siblings need to be together? Didn't Vanessa Durantes just go in the news and say how she prioritizes that? Well, if that's the case, how come my 9-year-old daughter hasn't seen her sister for more than 2 days in 7 months? That's fine to you?
I'm not saying that it's fine or it's not fine, right?
Is it fine or not? Is it fine or not? It's your job to protect children. Is it fine? Or you're going to just say, I'm not going to comment? Because if you can't even comment on that, why are you even in this field? If you can't even comment on it. There's a court order what? There's a court order what? DCF supersedes anything that family court does. DCF, by law, supersedes all of that. And a family court, it does not matter. DCF has one priority, which is to protect the children. It doesn't matter what the court order says. DCF can put in temporary orders. They can petition for immediate temporary custody. There's many, many things that DCF can do in a situation where the father gets arrested on a felony and taken to jail in the presence of the child, and the child's left with no legal guardian. You keep saying, well, it's okay, the mother was without. No, she's not the legal guardian. She cannot legally take my kid to the hospital and consent to medical treatments. Nothing in any court order gives her that right. Nothing in any court order takes away that right from me. And the fact that you're like, well, you didn't see the video, you didn't know what's going on with Scan, you don't even know anything. You're looking at the report as we're talking. You have no idea what you're talking about in this case. And so I'd like to get all of this stuff immediately. I'd like copies of all of this stuff. I'm extremely concerned with the fact that you guys are allowing my child to be sexually abused and doing nothing.
On something that you said, and now I don't know what it was.
Okay, what is your email so I can send you this video? Because if you're saying that the Caroline watched the video and they didn't see anything wrong, that is extremely concerning.
You can send it to my email. It's as in ice cream, R as in Robert, I as in ice cream, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, A as in apple, dot, D as in dog, O, M as in Mary, I as in ice cream, N as in Nancy, G, U, E as in elephant, Z as in zebra, SCT.gov.
Okay, and so just to confirm, you said you've never once seen the video, never cared to look at it, just...
No, it's not here to look at it.
You did look at it then, right?
They did not say that.
So did you look at it ever in the last 7 weeks or no?
The video...
And what exactly have you done in the last 7 weeks besides go to the house and ask her if she feels safe while the father's standing right there, even though she says every day that he threatens her and tells her she's not allowed to say anything? Did you go? Did you visit Monica? Did you visit Monica Perez? Because the Caroline has a video of her and Matthew having sex in front of Sal, and let me guess, having sex in front of your children is okay, right? That's not concerning.
I've never said that.
Do you think it's concerning for Matthew Lodis and Monica Perez to have sex in front of Salvatore Lodis? Do you think that's acceptable or okay for two grown adults to do? Because I sent the Caroline the video of that, and apparently that must have been thought to be fine as well, because nobody seems to care.
The only video that I received was video with Monica.
I'm sorry?
I received the video that's video with Monica. That's the only video that I received.
So you received a video of Monica and Matthew having sex in a car that he secretly filmed in front of their kid Sal, but that's not a concern to you?
I'm not saying that it is or it's not a concern. What I'm saying is that that's the only video I received.
Okay, and so is that a concern to you, yes or no?
That would be concerning if this is happening.
Okay, but you're telling me that you guys are still leaving her with Matthew. You're not petitioning to take away any of his rights. You're not doing anything. The fact that she's being completely isolated, which under DCF guidelines and your publications and everything that it says in DCF, they have to prioritize siblings. I would like you to help me access my daughter. I'd like you to help me and my 9-year-old access my daughter, because that's her sister. We have had, in the last 4 months, we've only seen Angelina one time for 3 hours. One time in 4 months. If you have a kid in DCF care, you're mandated by federal laws when you have a child in DCF care that they need at least 1 hour per week with their sibling. Angelina's gotten 3 hours in 4 months, not anywhere close to that. Why aren't you guys intervening? Matthew's abusing her. He's neglecting and isolating her from us. This is emotional abuse. Like, my daughter is distraught by the fact that she can't see her sister. I am not unfit. I've never once been proven unfit. I have a stable home. I don't live in my mom's basement in a dangerous inner city like Matthew does. I have my own home in a nice, safe suburb. I have had the same house for 7 years. I have sole custody of my 9-year-old. If I was unfit, why would I have sole custody? If I was unfit, why would DCF not want to say that I'm unfit? And the fact that you guys are just like completely ignoring the fact that she's being isolated from me. She's not allowed to go to church. She's not allowed to go to therapy. She's not allowed to go to school. She's not allowed to even get a haircut. My kid has not even had a haircut in like a year. She walks around, her hair and her face all messy. No one cuts her nails. There's basic things that she's not getting done. She's not allowed to go to scan. She's not allowed to do this. She's not allowed to do that. Every time I talk to her on the phone, she puts her hands in her mouth and starts making these up and down motions with her mouth, sucking on her hands. She was sucking on Matthew's hand during a call. Matt will put his hands in her mouth. While she was taking a bath, I have it on video, Matt putting his feet inside the bath while my daughter's naked bathing. He has videos everywhere. He has an obsession with pornography. He has a serious drug and alcohol addiction. Why isn't DCF asking for a drug test? Why isn't DCF looking into any of this? You have a video of his ex-wife and him having sex in front of Sal. Why isn't he being removed? Everything I'm saying, I have proof. I have so much proof. And also, Robert McConnell, who was supposedly supposed to investigate over the summer after getting a call from SCAN and the DCF report, he said he was going to contact Jessica Mayo of the Yale Child Study Center, who is Angelina's therapist that Matt took her from. And Jessica Mayo said that even though I signed a release, Robert McConnell never even bothered to contact her. So did you guys contact Jessica Mayo?
I don't know what happened. I don't know.
I'm asking you if you haven't. If you haven't, I would like you to, because she was seeing Angelina for 5 months, and she strongly suggested that Matthew not take Angelina out of therapy, and he took her out of therapy anyway. And Matthew's on the DCF Abuse and Neglect Registry for leaving Sal and Dom alone so he could go out and drink with his girlfriend back in 2017. That's why he has a conviction of reckless endangerment. That's why he was on supervised visits before. And that's why when Karen Bowers took temporary custody of Tatum Lodis in 2019, that DCF came there in the middle of the night and told Matthew, you can't live here if your niece is here because of your record with DCF. So if he can't be around his niece because of his DCF record, how is he allowed to be around his own children? And if you said that you know that your guidelines tells you that the law mandates at least 1 hour per week with siblings.
That's for children in care.
So children in care, okay. You know what? That's a joke. If that's what you think, you need that's not what the federal law says. The federal law says that these are requirements for children. And so it doesn't matter. The sibling relationship is a federally protected right. My daughter has the constitutional right to have a relationship with her sister. You guys have a duty to protect the children from abuse and neglect. A child being isolated from her mother and sister and entire family in an effort to try to brainwash her because of the sexual abuse is unacceptable. And the fact that you guys are saying, well, we can't do anything, dad has custody. What do you mean you can't do anything? The dad had custody before when you guys took temporary custody away and put him on the DCF registry and put him on supervised visits and found him neglectful and all this stuff. And I know the laws. I'm not like, I've been doing nothing but reading these laws and finding that everything DCF's doing is not following that. So I'm just really concerned with this. How are you guys supposed to get any real information out of Angelina if these abusive people are hovering over her at every second? Like, I would like it if you and Miss Anderson could ask to arrange where we could arrange a day where we could have you come to my house and Angelina be here with her sister. So you could see how happy she is here. So you could see how nice my home is. You could see how she has a playroom and a bedroom and everything a kid could want. And how when she's here, she doesn't even want to leave. And that's why Matthew won't let her come here. And he's also brainwashing her and telling her every day, oh, you can't see mommy unless mommy gets a supervisor. You're not allowed to talk to mommy unless she contacts me in the app and gets a supervisor. She needs to plan a proper supervisor. And then I'll say, hey, look, this person's going to supervise. And you know what he says? Nope, I don't like that person. Or he'll let them do it once. And then he says, nope, this person's never going to do it again. And so like now he just basically says, sorry, I have nobody who could supervise for you, and I'm not going to approve of any of the people you're suggesting, so therefore, I'm never going to let you see her again. He told me the other day he's never going to let me see her or speak to her again unless he can go to a judge and tell them that I abused her. I never once abused her. And so for you guys to say, oh, he has custody, I don't want to hear that. That's nonsense. I have sole legal and sole physical custody of my child, Juliana. And I know what it means to have sole custody. And it does not give you the right to abuse and neglect your kid. It does not give you the right to isolate them, especially under Public Act 21-78 and under the federal definition of child abuse and everything in DCF's guidelines.
Can we backtrack for a second? You're going to send me the video of Angelina, correct? I don't have a video of Angelina. I only have the Monica one.
Which is concerning. Why did the Caroline give you that? I sent all of that in the same day. This is what I'm talking about. And it's like, you guys got $800 million last year for DCF, and 90% of it went to pay people like you, your salary, your full state benefits, all your pensions, all that. So my tax dollars is paying almost $1 billion for you guys, and you can't even get the video? You guys can't even contact me? You can't even follow federal laws? Like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is like absolutely unacceptable. I've never once had anybody tell me that they're happy with the way that DCF handles things, and that's a huge problem, but it seems like you guys don't care because you still get paid. You still get your full state benefits. You're probably going to get full pay for Thursday and Friday this week and not have to work and sit there with your family and eat. Well, I can't even see my kid. I can't even talk to her. Why don't you ask yourself why Matt has custody? Did you even ask? Because I reported to DCF that she was saying she was being sexually abused by his son, which she is. But no, it's fine. It's fine that Dominic Lodis watches her every day. It's totally fine that his autistic kid that has been watching his dad have sex since he was a baby can watch my daughter, even though she says he's raping her. That's fine though, right? Nobody cares as long as you get your check. It's absolutely sickening and disgusting that you're telling me that you didn't even get the video, and you don't even have access to the video. That's disgusting. The fact that the Caroline says they have no concerns, so they watch the secretly filmed porn in front of Sal, and they have no concerns?
No.
Oh, okay. But they have no concerns about the video that they allegedly have that no one has had access to, right?
No, that was my fault. I don't have a video of Angelina. I have the video of Monica.
Where's the video of Angelina? And why didn't the police give that to you if they called you guys?
So they didn't give me that. I have been in contact with the police. I have sent them these records. I don't know what their investigation is going to look like after that. But I will continue to reach out to them. And then I can come out and meet with you and Tracy. But I can't. Dad would have to agree for Angelina to be there.
Okay, well, can you guys try to arrange that with him? Because I don't see why that would be an issue. And I think that there's no reason why my little girl should not be able to come here. She's been begging to come here and wants to come here and being told she's not allowed to. There's nothing saying she's not allowed to. This is him imposing restrictions to try to isolate her. Just like how he doesn't let her go to church. Child is supposed to be, and you know what? Whatever things you say, well, oh, that's only if a child's in care. That applies across the board because these are federal things that apply to children to protect them from abuse and neglect. And so whether they're in care, adopted, whatever it is, they have these federal rights. And my daughter has a right to grow up with her sister. I have the right to raise my daughter. Unless and until I'm proven unfit, nobody has the right to take her from me. No one has the right to deny me access to her. And so you guys can say all you want, oh, court order this, court order that. Go look at the lady who put in that court order. Go look at how many lawsuits there is. Go look at her history. And go look at the fact that you and I both know that DCF trumps anything that has to do with family court. And all you guys have to do is file an OTC like you should have done that night and said everybody just took Karen's word for it that she was a legal guardian when she's not.
So I can talk to Dad about allowing her to visit. We cannot supervise that visit.
Well, it doesn't even say it has to be supervised. It just says in the presence of a third party. So as long as there's a third party there that's not me, then that complies with that order. It doesn't even say the third party has to be 18. So I can make sure there's a third party at my house. I would love to have Angelina there. She has not been allowed to step foot on my property since August 27th. And here we are now in November. And so it's highly concerning that he's trying so hard to isolate her. This is abuse. This is emotional abuse and neglect. And he's also brainwashing my child. He says things to my daughter, and I have all this on video. Mommy's sick. You can't see mommy. She's sick in the head. There's things wrong with her brain. Mommy's got to get better first. Oh, you could see mommy next year after she gets better. Mommy doesn't pick supervisors. And so I'll literally say to my daughter, Angelina, I miss you so much. I love you so much. I really want to see you. Do you want to maybe try to see mommy and Juliana today? And she'll say, no, I can't because you didn't get a supervisor. What 4-year-old knows what a supervisor is? And the fact that he's involving her in all this adult stuff is unacceptable. And like everybody just makes excuses for him all the time because he's connected with state officials and people in the police and DCF and the judges and this and that. So is that how things work in this state? The people who have cash to pay people off and connections can do what they want and abuse their kids? Because Matthew's also involved in sex rings and pornography and the fact that he has a huge drinking problem and drug problem. Like, you guys don't drug test people? Like,
I'm just writing this down.
Like, you're going to tell me that this isn't concerning to you. That during the call, none of this is concerning. I mean, people have seen this call that are like really concerned.
Video already?
I'm trying to. It's a 30-minute thing, and I keep trying to send it, and it's just probably when I get off the phone with you, it's probably going to go. But I just sent you a couple screenshots from that call where you could see Matt is clearly so drunk and passed out. Not to mention, Angelina says to me the other day, we drove by Brass City Bistro in Waterbury. She goes, "Oh, Mommy, Daddy took me there the other day with him, and he was getting an adult drink." And I said, "Oh, well, did you get dinner too?" And she says, "No, he just got adult drinks, and I was running around and playing." So, like, he's bringing her with him to the bar. He went to at least 2 different weddings in the past 6 months where he brought her with him and heavily drank and then brought her home. He brings her with him all the time, drinks and drives with her in the car. Same with his other children. Leaves her with the other children all the time and doesn't let her see me. He, his mother, and everybody has me blocked. So even though the court order says I can FaceTime her and call her, I have no way to do that. And so...
Her at all?
I'm sorry?
You don't have any communication with her at all?
No. He's not letting me. The court order says I can... It says mother's access may include FaceTime. And you know what he says to me? He goes, "Oh, well, it says may include FaceTime. It doesn't say required to include FaceTime. Therefore, I'm not giving you any access to her at all." And then, like, I'll try to call and he'll say, like, "Oh, sorry. Only I'll call you when I want to. And if I say, then I'll let you talk to her. Otherwise, you can't." And so it's like, I don't know if or when I'll be able to see or speak to her ever again. I have no way to know that. He was told to give me a schedule. He refuses to do that. And it's like he's just been brainwashing her so bad where it's like you could see a shift. Like in the beginning, she was crying every day, begging to come back, saying she wants to see Mommy, she wants to come home, she wants to come home. And then it's like overnight in July, August, she starts saying, "Oh no, I can't see you because you're not following what the rules, what Daddy says. You're not getting a supervisor. You didn't make plans." And like during the call, I'll say like, "I really miss you. I want to see you." And he'll say, "Oh, well, maybe you should properly plan a supervisor and maybe you should plan a visit in the app." And like, he'll scream at me during the calls. Like, it's just extremely abusive. And now he says to me like, I can't see her or speak to her at all. I say like, and so here we are going into the holidays. I'm supposed to not see my daughter at all for Christmas. I'm supposed to not see her at all for Thanksgiving. I'm supposed to just never know when I can see or speak to her again. And that's okay. That's not okay. Like, my daughter thinks I abandoned her and I'm over here every day begging to see her and being ignored and told no. And so it's really upsetting to me that this is happening. I would really like it if you could provide me with whatever records that you do have that I can have access to, because I was told by state law that I'm allowed to get all medical records of my daughter, and St. Mary's Hospital is refusing to give me any, saying that my parental rights are terminated and that their legal department told them that I have no rights to her, even though that's not true. Have all my parental rights. And so like Karen Bowers goes there and says lies, and they just take her word for it. And now they said they flagged in the system saying that I have no rights. He went and did the same thing to the pediatrician. He lied to the pediatrician and lied to St. Mary's Hospital, telling them that I have no parental rights and that they're putting things in her notes now that I can't get any information or records, even though the state law says that even a non-custodial parent has the right to access those records. So the police won't give me any records. St. Mary's won't give me any records. I'm completely in the dark with DCF. this is our first time speaking, really. The Friday when I talked to Miss Anderson, it was very brief. And so I'm just like really concerned that like everybody's just like keeping me in the dark and acting like I don't exist when I'm like a fit, loving mother who's just trying to protect my daughter. Like I was a victim of childhood sexual abuse, and I was victimized as a child, and DCF dropped the ball with my case. And luckily I was able to advocate for myself after 10 years. But guess what? Who's advocating for Angelina? Nobody. Nobody's advocating for her except me. And then he's just trying to say, oh no, Angelina said she didn't wipe properly. She never said anything about that. He said that when he was all drunk and passed out. And Angelina's screaming, saying my butt hurts, grabbing her vagina. Because to confuse her, he says her back, he says her butt is her back and her vagina is her butt. And this is all to confuse her. And he tells her, oh, yes means no, no means yes, and things like that.
Are you able to text me the video? Maybe that'll work that way.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It just, my phone keeps saying like the storage, so I'm like trying to like delete an app. But
Can I ask? What are you available this week?
Well, I mean, like I said, like I'd like to at least ask him and see if we can ask him to allow Angelina to be there when we have you guys come, and then we could pick a day. Could you reach out to him and ask him first? I mean, if he says no, he says no, but could we at least try?
Yeah, I will ask him, but I do want to still schedule with you.
Okay. So maybe like ask him and see what he says, and then get back to me, and then we can schedule it for whatever day. I know there's the holiday and stuff, but
I'm here all week, and that's a Thursday, so.
Okay, maybe we could tentatively schedule something for Friday, and then try to see if he'll let Angelina come, and then I could, have somebody with me to pick her up, and then we could possibly do it then, and then I could have both of the girls here.
Okay. And then all right, I will ask Dad. How about Wednesday? Are you available on Wednesday at all?
Wednesday is gonna be a little bit tough for me. Friday I don't have anything, so that would be like for this week. That would be like ideal. Like tomorrow I have class and stuff. So if you could do Friday for me this week, that would be probably the best.
I just don't know if Tracy's gonna be able to do it.
Okay. I mean, do you want to maybe like find out, talk to her, talk to Matt, see what they say, and then you could text me or call me, and then we could set a time.
Let's see. You're available Friday anytime.
Yeah, pretty much any time Friday should be fine. I don't have
any time. Is there any time tomorrow or Wednesday that you have available at all? No.
I might be able to do Wednesday in the evening.
Like what time?
Like after 5 or 6, around that time.
Like 6 o'clock?
Yeah, like possibly Wednesday at 6 or Friday anytime.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna call Dad. Again, I can't force him, so I would have to just ask.
Yeah, I mean, because like, doesn't that also help the investigation? Like to see the child in both homes, like, and it's like just to see like her interactions and all of that, and like she feels more comfortable, she feels more safe, like she'll be able to actually like speak and not be like scared. I tried to send in this to your phone, and it was saying like it was too long and it has to be clipped. So it is now sending it to your email. I could try to like send it as a like an iPhone link or whatever. I don't know if it'll let me do that, but it is loading to go to your email. So
Okay.
all right, so then I guess just, you know, you'll touch base with me, you'll speak to them, touch base with me, and then we'll go from there.
Yes. I just have a couple more questions. I know that you're in court for the termination of parental rights, right?
Yes.
Are you? Is there anything scheduled for custody other than the termination?
Well, I had also filed for
Visitation?
a custody case because the one in New Haven, like I said, like it's like my rights have been violated so much, and she basically made it so I can't file anything or modify anything. And so I went and I filed another case in Milford because I live in Orange, and that's my proper court. And they gave us like an order to show cause, and I also included Karen on there because Matt leaves Angelina with Karen 90% of the time. Usually Matt works 2 jobs, and when he's not working, he's out drinking. And so it's like 90% of the time she's with Karen. Karen's the one who has custody physically, not Matt. And so
What is the one in Milford, a modification?
no, I started a new case because the one in New Haven basically made it so nothing can ever be modified, and she's just like, we'll file stuff, no court date gets assigned. It's like, if you look at our docket, you'll see like nothing has been in, we haven't had any court dates since June. And like I've tried filing like modifications, things like that. And so like now we have like in December 11th, we have an order to show cause where it's supposed to be Karen and Matt, and they have to get served with that. They haven't been served yet. And so
That's the one that you just filed.
that's the one I just filed because it's like I've been trying so hard to file in New Haven all these months, and the judge won't let me file anything. She said only me has to file permission before I can file anything, even if it's an emergency. And then I asked for permission and she says no. And so it's like no matter what I file, it doesn't get scheduled for a court date. She doesn't even let it get filed. So I said, I have a federal lawsuit pending against her and several other individuals. I said that this is like a complete conflict of interest, and I should not be forced to have to only go with her, especially when I don't live in New Haven. And so I filed this new case in Milford. They took it in and they scheduled a hearing for, it was supposed to be December 4th, but then I changed it to the 11th because I had a conflict on that day. So now I just gave it to the marshal. Matthew and his mother should be getting served, because it'd be one thing if Matthew had Angelina and there was nobody else involved, but she lives with Karen. Karen watches her 90% of the time. As far as I'm concerned, Karen's the one who has custody, and Matt just basically has custody on paper. So if that's the case, I'm allowed, I need to have a schedule with my daughter. I would like to have sole custody like I do of my other child. Matt doesn't have sole custody of any of his other children. He never has. And so there's a lot of problems in this case, and nobody ever said anything about me losing custody until I reported her being sexually abused by the brother. So it doesn't make sense that you report the sexual abuse and then the child goes to the house where she's saying she's being abused, and then the mom loses custody. Why? I didn't do anything. Just because they want to say, no, I'm lying. What proof is there that I'm lying? My daughter was never once asked if she was being touched. No one ever asked her anything. And if you look at the forensic interview from March, she said, Dominic sits on me. He has me sit on top of him. In what world is a boy that's 13 years older than a girl allowed to sit on top of her, straddle her, and that's considered okay or acceptable? It's not. He's almost 18 years old. He's of age. He's been watching his father have sex his whole life. He started watching porn at the age of 11 because of Matt's brother, Scott Lodice, who's lost custody of his kids so many times to DCF for drug overdoses. And Matthew has a drug problem and drinking problem. He drinks heavily in front of Angelina all the time, drives around with her. He drives her in cars with no insurance. There's a lot of issues going on. I'm surprised why isn't he being asked to take a drug test? I'll take a drug test anytime, no problem. But I bet you if you asked him to take one, he'll say no.
have a couple more questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Any mental health history for yourself?
Just PTSD from sexual abuse as a child.
Any treatment or no?
Yeah, like since my childhood, I've been in treatment on and off.
Are you in treatment currently?
Currently, no.
Any medication?
No. Just actually medical marijuana for the PTSD, but no pharmaceuticals.
And you have a card for that?
Yes.
Any substance use history?
No.
Besides marijuana?
No.
No. Domestic violence?
No, I mean, like, you know, with Matthew and stuff, like, being victimized by him and all this domestic violence and stuff, but, we were never in a relationship, but I've been emotionally and financially and psychologically abused by him now for 5 years, and he's continuing to do it, and everybody is enabling this to continue.
So you were in a relationship?
We were never in a relationship, and we never lived together. We were never married. He told me to have an abortion, begged me to have an abortion, and was mad that I didn't. And we went to court when Angelina was 3 months old, and that was when it was determined that I would have primary residency, she would live with me, and he would pay child support. And it was like that for 4 years straight. And then as soon as I said, look, Angelina's saying she's being sexually abused by Dominic while you're leaving her with Dominic, all of a sudden then he called up his friends who are lawyers and judges and all this stuff and made the judge switch custody to him, saying that I lied about the sexual abuse. And in the report, in the court order, you could, if you look at it, you could see that the judge says, oh, DCF said that they had concerns for the mother's mental health and all this stuff. But then when DCF actually was in court after that and they were testifying, I asked DCF, why did you say this, that you had concerns for my mental health? DCF says, I never said that. We never said that. There's nothing in our record that says that. But the judge wrote that. So the judge lied, saying that DCF said things they didn't say. That's why there's a huge federal lawsuit going on. That's why, there's a lot of covering up happening, clearly, because nobody wants to be accountable for what they're doing. But I'm not going to just sit back and let my child continue to get abused when I know that she is being abused and I have to protect my daughter. And so I'm not going to just let people do whatever they want and not say something. And so if I lost custody because I reported the abuse, the alternative would have been to say nothing, not report the abuse, and then I would have been neglecting her. So apparently it makes you unfit to report sexual abuse. And apparently the state would rather have you just be silent and allow her to continue to be abused. And now she's saying it's not just Dominic, it's Matthew as well. And he's said to me many times his fantasy is to have sex with a mother and a daughter at the same time. He has an obsession with porn. He's a sex addict. He also has an obsession with young women. He was sleeping with a woman who is 20 years younger than him. And she was a teenager and he was almost 40. And so it's like he has a pattern of going for women that are very young. I'm almost 10 years younger than him. And so it's just like, he's a pedophile. He's dangerous. And I have plenty of people who could vouch for this. But he goes there all charming, all nice, all manipulative, says what you want to hear, talks a good game like a salesman that he is, and everybody eats it all up. And people look at me like, oh, maybe I might come off as emotional or whatever, but I'm a mother. If I didn't love my daughter and care about my child, I wouldn't be emotional. And so that shouldn't be used against me when I'm just trying to protect my kid who needs a mother. She shouldn't be punished because she was abused sexually by his son. That shouldn't result in her being punished and never seeing her mom or sister again, never coming to her home again. We got kittens and she's never even met them. He won't let her even come see them. He didn't even let her come to her sister's birthday party. Her own sister's birthday party, not allowed to go. So you know what? This is isolation and abuse, and I'm just, I like DCF to take it seriously because they never do, and this is why kids get killed.
And then, any religion?
You said my religion?
Any religion at all?
Yeah, Greek Orthodox Christian, and Angelina is also baptized in our religion, Greek Orthodox, and he's not let her go to church or Sunday school, which she's enrolled in. She's supposed to go in Sunday school every week on Sunday. He has not let her step foot in church since May. So 7 months now, she hasn't been allowed to practice her religion. She hasn't been allowed to attend religious education, hasn't been allowed to attend soccer or school or therapy or anything. This is isolating her from us because he's just trying to tell her, oh no, mommy, he's telling her I abandoned her and trying to get her to like be brainwashed to think that she's like not allowed to see me. But like if he wanted to, he could let me see her every single day.
And then is there any part of an Indian tribe?
No.
Celebrate birthdays and holidays? You just said you celebrated.
I'm sorry, what about the birthdays and holidays?
Celebrate birthdays and holidays.
We do, and that's why he did not let her even FaceTime me on my birthday, September 7th. Her sister's birthday was September 23rd. We had a party. She wasn't allowed to go. And on that day, on the 23rd of September, for my daughter's 9th birthday party, we had a bowling party. Her cousins were there, her friends. Everybody wanted Angelina to come. And Matthew said, no, sorry, Angelina's not coming. We have plans. And then he went to go to a wedding in New York and dumped her with Karen Bowers for the entire day and night. And finally, we were able to talk to Angelina that day, and she says, oh, Mommy, I've been sitting here at Mima's house all day. Daddy's not here. So it's not like he had something to do, and that's why she couldn't go to the party. He forced her not to go and made her sit there at the grandma's while he was at a wedding with his dad and his half-brothers in New York, in Westchester County, and getting blasted drunk, like he always does. And so it's like he even said, he goes, look, I'm moving back in with my mom's so that I could have a free babysitter 24/7 and do what I want. He says between Dominic and his mom that he can do anything he wants and he never has to see Angelina and it's fine. And he only did this to not pay child support and to protect him and his son from being in trouble for the sexual abuse. And like, not to mention all these videos of Angelina saying that she's being sexually abused by Dominic, acting it out, saying this is what Dom does to me. And then for her to scream, and then he says, I'm coaching her. How am I coaching her? I've only seen her 2 days in 7 months. And during this phone call, she was with him the entire time. And so it's like, he's right there during the call. There's no coaching involved. Like, and then he's like, he tells Angelina, Mommy's not allowed to record anything. She's not allowed to record it. The court order says she can't. I'm going to go tell the judge. Like, this is the stuff he says to my 4-year-old on the phone. And so it's like, if I was saying that, DCF would be removing my rights. But when a man says it, it's fine, it's fine. This is just gender discrimination where I know you guys get incentives for the Fatherhood Initiative. I know that DOC, DSS, DCF, and all the organizations signed a memorandum of understanding where there's federal money every time you give a dad custody. There's the access and visitation grants, but those are only for men. So where's my access and visitation grant? Who's going to help me access and visit my daughter that's being isolated and alienated from me? Nobody cares. It's really concerning because I don't want to hear anybody say to me that the family court order means something when the termination of parental rights and juvenile court and probate court and DCF, any orders from that trumps family court. And that was told by the lawyer who was her AMC that they gave her.
So I know that the termination of parental rights is going to be heard. That I know that's happening. But in terms of the custody arrangement, that has to be modified.
Right, and that's why I started a new case because I'm like getting nowhere in New Haven where the lady like blocked me from doing anything for no reason and like just literally like trying to like deny me any access to the courts. So that's why I started this new case, and that's why I was just trying to like see what I can do in the termination thing. I tried filing for temporary custody with that. They're saying to me, oh, you didn't have authority to ask for that, but I don't understand why they're saying that. So I'm just taking it one day at a time. I also have an appeal pending for the family case for all these decisions that were made. And, I'm working on it. And as far as this, though, it's like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be allowed to see and talk to my daughter. And if a federal law says that they have to have at least 1 hour a week, I should be getting at least 1 hour a week, not 1 hour every 4 months, because there's no way to sustain a relationship like that. And this is his goal, is to, like, he says that I'm abusing her and that his goal is to never let me see her. So it's like, okay, what am I doing to abuse her? What am I doing to neglect her? If you actually ask him that, he has nothing to say, because he knows I'm not. Like, he knows I'm a loving, good mother. Like, when my daughter saw me, she ran to me so hard saying, I miss you so much, Mommy. I miss you so much. Ran to me. And it's like, it breaks my heart that, like, I have to sit here and, like, not know when I'm going to see or talk to my daughter again. Like, I want to talk to her and I can't even call her. He keeps me blocked. It's like, I got to sit here and hope that maybe he'll call, if he does. But then it's like, to see her, when can I see her? He doesn't give me any options. And so it's just like, it's really difficult dealing with all of this, because I did nothing wrong. I could understand if I was abusive, or if I was a drug addict, or if I was doing any of this stuff to hurt my kid to warrant this, but I never did anything. And like I said, I have sole custody of my 9-year-old. I've always had sole custody of her. I'm able to handle being in law school and having my own house and running businesses and doing all of this stuff. And at the same time, you guys are going to look at me and say it's okay for me to only see my kid 2 days in 7 months. Like, this is causing serious, serious trauma to my daughter. She's going to have a lifetime of PTSD after all this.
So I will definitely have a conversation with Dad, and then take it from there, okay?
Okay, and in the meantime, this video is loading up. It's about halfway through to your email, so once it goes in, I'll send that to you. And then if you could just, like, text me, like, let me know about the meeting, when we could do it, and if he agrees to let Angelina be there.
I will call Tracy once I get off the phone with you and see what her availability is like too. And then I just had a question about the Angelina's appointment when you got arrested. What happened?
So, like, that morning, I got a call from Scan saying that they were calling that they needed to have Angelina come in for her follow-up appointment for Scan. And so I went ahead and scheduled that for the following week, which was the 23rd at 1 p.m. And I said, okay, like, she's all set, and I booked that appointment. I then called Preferred Pediatrics to inform them about the Scan appointment, and also to double check with them to see when the physical was, because she was supposed to have her physical in May. She was also supposed to be seen for a medical follow-up after being in the emergency room for the rape kit and all that was done in May. She was supposed to be seen by May 31st. And Matt refused to let her go to the doctor. On multiple occasions, the doctor called and said, hey, we have her scheduled for October. We have a cancellation. Can she come in today, or can she come in tomorrow? And Matt would say, no, she's not going till October. And so I said, okay, fine. Like, I'll be there in October. I told him multiple times in the app, I said, I'm going to be there at that appointment. So I called that day and I said, I just want to confirm when's her appointment. They said, oh, it's actually today at 11:30. I said, oh, okay. I said, that's great. I said, well, I wanted to come there and provide them with records that they asked me from the hospital, stuff that they said that they needed, because I had been in contact with Dr. Casey. She even put in a DCF report of neglect about Matt a few weeks prior to that. And I said to her, I said, like, there's things that I want you guys to give me for the records, and there was things that she wanted me to give her. They said that you can come in person. There's no way to email it. It's either mailing it, faxing it, or coming in person. So I said, okay. I was like, well, if my daughter's going to be there, I was like, I want to be there for that appointment. I'm her legal guardian. There's no reason why I should be excluded from her physical. I've been at every one of her physical appointments ever since she was born. And so I said, I just want to make sure. They said, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then they called me back and they're like, oh, we called Dad, and he said that there's a restraining order saying that you can't be around your daughter and that you can't be here because the restraining order says you can't be near your daughter. And I said, like, there's no restraining order that says that at all. And I even, like, contacted the police department in Orange to ask them to confirm, is there another restraining order? Is there anything there? They said no. There's just a protective order that says that's about Matt, but it does not say anything. It doesn't say, like, stay 100 yards away from him or anything like that. So I'm allowed to be near him. I just, to contact him, it says only in the app, which I've never contacted him outside the app once. And so they only put this protective order on because he had a protective order protecting me. He violated it. I called the police to report it, and then they didn't arrest him, and then they did a warrant and arrested me back in May. And so it's like, then all of a sudden now they're treating it so that he's the victim instead of me, and giving him a protective order. So on this day, I then went there. I called Preferred Pediatrics back. I spoke to Dion from their office. And I said, I just confirmed that there's no restraining order saying I can't be around my daughter. I'd like to be there. I'm coming to give you guys the records. And also I'd like to be part of the appointment. I'm just letting you know and make sure that that's okay before I come out there. She's like, okay, no problem. So then when I got there, the door was locked. I tried knocking on the door. They're like, oh, yeah, the door's locked because we're cleaning in the lobby. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah, just wait here. And then they kept letting other patients in through a different door. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, oh, just wait there. We'll let them know you're here. Then I tried to call the office and they're like, oh, we're not sure. We'll see what's going on. And then I messaged Matt in the app and I said, where's Angelina? I'd like to see and speak to her. And he goes, oh, I'm waiting for the police to come to the doctor to arrest you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I tried to talk to the nurse or whatever as she opened the door to somebody else. And then she slammed the door on my hand. And so I was like, are you kidding me? Nobody from the doctor was telling me anything. They told me it was fine. Come there, this and that, whatever. And it's then they lock the door. They lie and say that they locked it because they're cleaning. They never said, oh, you have to leave or anything like that. Then I called the police to say that the lady from Preferred Pediatrics slammed the door in my hand and that I wanted to press charges for her for physically assaulting me. And they're like, oh, we're already on our way. And then the police get there and they're like, you violated the order because you interfered with him because he can't take her to the doctor because you're here. I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. How is he unable to take her to the doctor if I was there? And second of all, my other daughter goes there too. And so it's I have every right to go there. I was told to go there. They said, yeah, it's fine. I have all this recorded. And so it's just really ridiculous that they would even arrest me for that when I tried to go to the police and report over 100 instances of him violating the protective order that was protecting me, where he kept talking to me outside the app and harassing me, and the police did nothing because he's got friends and family that are cops and lawyers and judges and police commissioners and state marshals, and the list goes on. And so it's really easy to just get what you want when you're connected like that. And then now I'm facing that, which I'm confident is going to be dismissed because I did nothing wrong. I didn't violate anything. They just said I violated the order, but I didn't. So that's what that was. And now the doctor says to me I'm never allowed to go there again. So I guess I got to find a new pediatrician for my 9-year-old, since I was told I'm not allowed to go there anymore. And that was her also pediatrician. So, and these people were mad because I told them I was suing them and put them on a lawsuit, and they were upset about that. And so it's that doesn't give them the right to retaliate against me and slam the door on my hand and stuff. They could have just said to me, hey, we're gonna have to ask you to leave, and I would have left. No one said that though. They just didn't say anything and were locking the door and pretending it was for cleaning. So that whole day was just a crazy situation, and I seriously did nothing wrong. I didn't violate the order. I spoke to an attorney about it. They said clearly I didn't violate the order, so whatever. That's where that is.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Tracy. I'm going to talk to Dad, and then I'll let you know, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Me either. And then we can come out and meet you, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Just give me a call or text and we can touch base then.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.